All right, yeah. So this is my trade recap on Twilio. It was a pretty decent swing trade in my opinion. I got in at about 53 bucks and sold pretty much around 70. Whether or not I caught the top, I mean, I didn't catch the exact top obviously, but within a dollar's forgiveness, I think I did pretty well. I mean, I made about 30%. You can see I posted the trade here. Almost for 100 shares to make almost 1700 bucks profit. That's pretty decent in my opinion. I mean, if you can do better, by all means, do you. But I just want to take you through my thinking on it. So here we have the daily chart, and this is the Thinkorswim platform. So when you get one of these candles, you see here, another one here, 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 and here. You have what that signifies is a trend reversal or trend change. So see, I have it set on chart type candle trend. If you change that just to regular candle, you just have red and green, and it doesn't really tell you a whole lot. I mean, it tells you everything you need to know more or less, but this just gives you like a little bit of bonus. And so basically, this is how I drew the trend. Oh, you have another one right there. So I drew it right here, and I drew it right here, and I said, I feel like this is pretty solid, basically because after this trend, you see it break out and start getting overbought, and I just figured that that was the ideal line location would be before it got overbought. And so that's how I drew my trend. And then, I mean, it has held it so far. It hasn't even really touched it or tested it since I drew it, uh, except for that little spot. But typically, anytime you see a trend line, if it doesn't hold it for at least 2 days straight, uh, you can kind of discount the fact, and you can see barely, and it's already started to recover, and then it's back up to the races. But anyway, so I saw it come up. It obviously is overbought on the RSI. It's way outside the upper Keltner, and this is on a daily chart, so it's really skeptical at this point. See it pull back again. You see it go down two, and then you just want to kind of wait uh, on that wave, and then it just sort of consolidates. You can kind of draw a wedge pattern here, and I got in at 53.29, so not exactly the bottom of this pullback, but because it got down to like 52.75 ish, but within about 50 cents, I was pretty close. And as you can see, it did pretty well. I mean, I obviously was pretty skeptical, just considering this thing started what 23.66, and then here we have it at 66. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's like almost 200% gain or something ridiculous. And that's why I just wanted to make sure on this pullback that it was not going to just, fall off a cliff. And it didn't. So it held the trend and everything like that. But once I saw this trend, I mean, trend candle reversal here forming, and then you look at this individual chart on the minute chart here, compared to the S&P 500. So we had the OPEC news here at around like 210, 205, somewhere around there. And then you look here, and you just don't see any correlation to the rest of the market. The rest of the market's in full rally mode. I mean, you look at almost every other stock, and they're all going berserk over the news, and everything's just going up with the market. But this just can't really keep going. So that tells you that the relative strength on this is just a little bit exhausted, and it just doesn't have much more room to run, and it's probably going to pull back soon. So I figured I don't really know at this point what's going to happen. Either way, I'm up 30%. I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to take profits and maybe look to get back in at a better price than it's at now. Maybe I get back in at 60-ish somewhere. We'll see what happens, but either way, I felt like, I've made my money and no one ever got hurt taking a profit, so I locked in the gains. And I mean, for 100 shares, you cannot argue with that. I mean, what is that cost basis? So for 5,300, that's not bad. and then it's worth basically like 7,000. That's pretty decent. So that, yeah, I just wanted to do a quick recap on my justification for that. I'm not saying to sell out if you're a really long-term holder. I'm just a very impatient trader personally. That's kind of one of my downfalls. But hey, if you got this in your like 5 or 10 year portfolio, by all means. I'm not saying that it's never going to reach these highs again and it's all over. I'm just saying, for me as a swing trader, I made my money and I'm happy with the results, and that's why I got out. But to each their own.